Why am I not getting bigger? What am I doing wrong? This is a question every skinny guy will ask themselves after a few months of lifting. Once those newbie gains disappear, it's not as easy to make progress, And trust me, you're not alone. I went through that same struggle as well. Training, eating, sleeping. But looking in the mirror, I can't see why I'm still small. Why am I not getting bigger? I guarantee you're doing one, if not all, of the 3 things I'm going to mention in this video. And if you think I'm about to talk about the things everybody knows, like you aren't eating enough, you aren't training hard, no. These 3 things are killing your gains and no one actually talks about them. So the first thing that's killing your gains secretly is that you're training like someone who's already jacked. You're training like someone who's already built. You've been training fairly frequently, maybe for about 3 months. You started seeing some small gains. Maybe your strength has gone up. Perhaps you've seen your first bicep vein. Now you think it's time to ramp it up, you start copying and training like bodybuilders you've seen on the internet, start buying their programs, copying their workouts, but you don't realize that you are doing more harm than good. You see, you do not have the body, the recovery ability, or in most cases, the drugs to emulate what these people are doing in the gym. I'll get to the drugs part in a second, but the point is that you are not jacked yet. It hurts, but that's the truth. And as such, your body cannot perform the same way that a jacked person can. Following programs that have 6 different exercises for the chest, you're doing this exercise, that exercise, all these different variations. The next day you have 5 different exercises for biceps as well, triceps and shoulders, and you just keep going because you've seen your favorite influencers training in this way, and this is not the way you're gonna build muscle. You are under the illusion that this is how muscle is built because you are seeing a jacked guy on the internet doing it. But the reality is that those guys have years and years of lifting under their belts. Their bodies are used to the amount of volume and intensity needed to train like this. Not to mention the fact that most of them are not allowing their bodies to recover faster in a way that your body cannot. I see this all the time when I go to the gym. Skinny guys doing exercises that they do not need to be doing. Too much volume, wasting time in the gym. Most skinny guys need to prioritize simplicity. You need to be more simple and less complicated with your workouts. Focus mainly on compound movements over isolated movements. Be consistent, progressively overload, and the gains will come. You do not need to be doing 6 different variations of chest. A simple incline bench press and a cable fly is all you need to build muscle. I see this all the time in my gym, so I'm sure one of you watching this video is doing this as well. The second thing that I'm going to talk about that is killing your gains is the fact that you're scared of a little bit of fat. Personally, I was very skinny when I started, so I didn't really care for my diet, being full of fatty foods. I wasn't really too fussed about what I was eating at the time. I just wanted to get huge. I wanted to get jacked, but I've come across a lot of skinny guys that are absolutely terrified of putting on a little bit of fat and are terrified of losing their abs and their veins on their biceps. Are you guys training to be supermodels? If you're training for a movie role or to be a supermodel, I suggest you click off this video right now. This video is for people who want to get huge and skinny guys who want to get jacked. You want to get big, but you're too worried about looking a little chubby, Unless you are taking steroids or some drugs of some sort, that's not gonna work, and it's actually slowing down your progress. That mindset of fearing to put on a little bit of pounds in order to gain the muscle is holding you back significantly. You see all these fitness influencers going on a bulk, sacrificing their body fat percentage in order to get bigger and build more muscle. It's not because they don't want to see their abs. It's not because they want to get a little bit fat. It's because that's how you can get bigger. That's how you build muscle. That's how you get better. Let me tell you guys something. If you are scared of gaining a little bit of fat, you aren't going to build muscle and the body that you want. You want to bulk, but you also want to see your abs. It's not gonna work. These things don't go hand in hand. This is a picture of me when I first did my first ever bulk. If you want to know how you can bulk up very fast as a skinny guy, check out my last video I posted. Anyway, can see a significant difference between me when I was leaner, and I don't look as defined as I was when I was lean. I had no abs, my veins were not showing that much, but this was a stage where I was focused on getting bigger, building my strength up and making progress. And when I actually ended my bulk, you can see it paid off. Bigger shoulders, arms, chest. That's the progress that was made when I sacrificed my body percentage, when I stopped caring too much about my body fat. Even the best bulks come with some fat gain, Don't be afraid to put on a little bit of fat when you are trying to get bigger. In the end, it will all be worth it when you eventually go on a cut. Now, my last and final point that is killing your gains as a skinny guy trying to build muscle is gonna be you're not hydrating or drinking enough water. Most people that go to the gym, not just skinny guys actually, even people who are trying to lose weight, they tend to focus more on things like protein, carbs, and they end up neglecting the most important anabolic tool, water. Your muscles are made up of 75% water. When you are dehydrated, your muscles literally shrink, they get smaller. That means you look flatter, you feel weaker, and your recovery after lifting will slow down significantly. If you're a skinny guy trying to build size, being underhydrated or dehydrated doesn't just mean drinking water at all. No, you may be drinking the old glass of water here and there, maybe when you're training, during your workouts, maybe if it's hot outside, you might have a little bit of water, but that is not enough. Your strength in the gym, recovery, and your endurance levels are partly determined by how much water you have in your system. For example, have you ever been doing a hard leg day? Say you've been doing your squats, and after or during your set, you start feeling lightheaded, weak, nauseous, like you want to fall down and stuff like that. You might think that this is because you're training hard, with intensity, but actually you feel like this because your body is out of water, it's dry. You're not drinking enough water. I personally started making sure I drink at least 2.5 to 3 liters of water every single day. First thing in the morning, when I wake up, I have a glass of water or a liter of water, even before my breakfast. I walk around with a jerrycan throughout the day, and not only does this make my muscles look fuller, my workouts have also improved drastically. I'm not lightheaded when I'm doing intense, heavy compound lifts anymore. When you take a lot of water as well, no one talks about this, but your pumps actually look insane. When your muscles are full of water, as I said, muscles are 75% water. When your muscles are full of water, when you've been drinking a lot of water, the pumps you get after a workout are going to be different from those you've had before you started drinking enough water. Trust me, you're going to look crazy. You're going to look more vascular, and you're going to overall, you're just going to look really, really good when you start drinking enough water. That's gonna be all for this video, guys. You're not gonna find this information anywhere else. I've been watching YouTube for 3 years now. Nobody talks about this content I'm talking about. So make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I've missed out, and let me know if there's anything you guys are doing that's in this video and how you're gonna improve on that. I'll see you guys in the next one.